Greetings and salutations. This is the voice of Loquacious of Herd, bringing you his afterthoughts on My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Season 8, Episode 13, titled The Mean Six. I heartily suggest you find and watch the episode itself, sans commentary, before proceeding with either the Spoken Herd Afterthoughts review or viewing my full reaction, which is hosted at the link in the description. Please support the official release. Be warned, this Afterthoughts review will contain spoilers for the episode. With that out of the way, on to the review. This was certainly an amusing climax to the first half of the season. We begin with an innocuous pony dropping by for a photo shoot.
I'm so sorry! Can you forgive me? I don't expect you to forgive me. Forgive me.
I don't know about forgiving this delay, oh pony with the stinky bug cutie mark. You are making the main six run 10 minutes behind for a friendship retreat Twilight has planned.
The Canterlot Historical Society is thrilled to document the friendship work your teachers do. Let me just pretty you all up. Ow! Hey! Don't want a single hair out of place, do we? This is for the history books. Now. Well, that's that. Bye! Wait! You forgot Starlight! She needs a picture too. Okay. Now I'll get out of your mains.
That was odd, taking a hair from each of the main six and a picture of each of them, all while pointedly ignoring Starlight. What could this bug pony with the green magic aura be up to?
Now I have everything I need.
So, Chrysalis is back. She is indeed a real stinker of a bug pony. So what trouble does the evil changeling queen, ruler of the unseelie changelings, have in store for our heroes in the lands of Equestria?
My spell can create a copy of any pony I desire. All I need is an image and a piece of the pony. Oh, and this.
Neat! But why exactly are you making copies of the main six?
Why copies, Rarity? Because Princess Twilight and her friends control the elements of harmony, the most powerful weapon in all Equestria. Which means you will be able to use them too.
First, I'm not Rarity. I'm not even Rarity Dash. Second, that prance was adorable. Third, Chrissy, I have grave doubts that this magical stunt you're planning will, in fact, work, due to the nature of harmony magic stuff and the strange sentience of the Tree of Harmony, but do go on.
Together, we will destroy Twilight Sparkle and her meddlesome friends. Of course I haven't forgotten Starlight Glimmer. She stole my hive, turned my subjects against me. So I'll take her friends away while she watches, and then I'll destroy her! With the elements under my control, I'll build a new hive of earth ponies, unicorns, and pegasi, and I will rule as queen once again!
Delightful! A plan that is almost certainly foredoomed to failure. But watching how it all falls apart will be a great delight, a sit back and munch on popcorn whilst pointing and laughing affair. But before we move on, I'd like to mention how pleased I am about Chrysalis's magical ritual. It is an excellent example of contagious magic. What is contagious magic, and might I become infected by it, I hear you cry. Two of the great principles of magic and of magical thought are sympathy and contagion. These two rules form the foundations of much of magical practice. I hasten to note that these two so-called rules are in no way backed up by anything approaching the scientific method, at least not outside of Equestria and other similarly magical and mythical places. Sir James Frazer, in his book The Golden Bough, explores these subjects and provides some excellent examples. The principle of sympathy and the foundation of sympathetic magic is the rule that like produces like. So, by in some way imitating the desired outcome, often through symbolism or ritual, you can produce the desired outcome. As an example, if you want it to rain, you might do a ritual that involves drumming and dancing. The drumming imitating thunder, the rapid footfalls mimicking heavy raindrops falling to the dry ground, and voila! By doing something that at least symbolically is like rain, you can make rain. The principle of contagion and the foundation of contagious magic is the rule that once together, always together. Or, in short, that the whole of the thing is reflected in and can be affected by a part of the thing, even if that part has been removed and is at a considerable distance from the aforementioned whole. So, taking a drop of blood, a garment from a person, or a lock of their hair means that you have, for the purposes of magic and ritual, the whole of the person available and in your power. Both sympathetic and contagious magical principles can be combined to produce magical results, the theory goes, and that's how you get things like voodoo dolls, a doll with some part of the chosen victim attached to it or contained within it. Then, when you do something to the doll, the chosen victim is affected as well. Here we see Chrysalis using contagious magic, a piece of a pony and their image, to create evil copies of the main six, with the thought of then using that magical connection, via both contagion and sympathy, to acquire and use the elements of harmony against the Changeling Queen's foes. And if harmony magic, such as is manifested in the elements of harmony and in the tree, were simply a non-sentient power source whose only safeguards are that one must be properly attuned to an appropriate harmonious ideal to invoke their power, then Chrissy's plan might work. But at least since Season 4, there have been strong and growing indications that there's more to the Tree of Harmony and its elements than just raw power. There's a mind at work back there. A strange, alien way of thinking, as would be expected when the current avatar of harmony is a tree, but there's a mind and will there nonetheless. So, Chrysalis and her new minted minions, the titular Mean Six, are off to hunt the elements. Meanwhile, the main six are off on some sort of day trip camping excursion.
Where are we camping?
Right next to the elements that brought us all together in the first place. The Tree of Harmony.
And there's the setup. While Twilight Sparkle and her friends are heading to the Tree of Harmony for some quiet vacation time, Chrysalis and the Mean Six are also inbound. Does Chrissy even know about the tree? And how well suited are her minions to aiding her in this task?
Listen to your queen. We must retrieve the elements of harmony.
Hunting down some lame elements? This is the worst day ever! No, now it's the worst day ever. Those elements are mine! Along with this rock! Oh, and that twig.
I got all kinds of elements right here under my hat. I'll let you see them for 5 bits.
Losers.
Poorly. The Mean Six, discorded dark side inversions of the Main Six, are in no way inclined to work together towards a common goal. Why, they're nearly an open revolt from the get-go, particularly with a mean Twilight challenging Chrysalis's plan.
Why didn't you just attack them?
Excuse me?
You were close enough to pull hairs from their manes. Why not just take your revenge then?
They've defeated my army. I know better than to strike alone. I need
Friends?
servants.
This is delightful. Watching Chrysalis trying to not so proverbially herd this most unherdable lot of proverbial cats is one of the high points of this episode. But about the elements?
Right. So where are these elements of harmony?
The location of the most powerful weapon in Equestria isn't something made known to just any pony. I learned they were hidden somewhere in this forest.
Yeah, well, it is a big forest.
So, Chrysalis and the Mean Six are searching the woods, while Twilight and friends are heading straight for the tree. At least there won't be any wacky hijinks and mix-ups due to these respective groups becoming separated and encountering one another amid ever-spiraling out-of-control cases of mistaken identity, right? Right?
Oh no! You and your sister fell out of your nest and got separated? That's terrible. Here. I'm sure your home isn't too far away. You tried to fly out of the nest, you fell and got lost. Hope you like walking.
Come get me when I should care.
Where are the others?
This isn't looking...
Fantastic. First Pinky race is ahead of us, and now Fluttershy's lost somewhere behind us. My retreat is off to a great start.
It's not like Fluttershy to disappear like this.
We'll split up and search for her. We can all meet back at the tree.
Oh no.
Turn around. We're going back.
No, keep searching. I'll find the others. We can accomplish more if we split our resources.
Very well. You have my permission.
Permission? You need us way more than we need you, Your Majesty. The others are fools, but with me to lead them, there's no reason we can't find the elements and keep the power for ourselves.
So, apparently I was wrong. Having ventured into the woods, every pony's getting separated, running off in groups of 1 or 2 or 3, and the resulting encounters between both Main 6 and Mean 6 members, none of whom really seem to be able to tell one another apart, lead to misunderstanding after misunderstanding. The real Pinkie Pie reveals estate secrets to the false Twilight.
What is the Tree of Harmony?
Oh, this is one of your activities, right? Like a friendship quiz? It's the crystal tree that holds the elements of harmony. Boom.
Where is it?
It's at the bottom of the stairs in the ravine by the castle of the Two Sisters. A double boom.
How do you know? You've seen it?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, Twilight, these questions are super easy.
The false Rarity pulls her best element of greed impression, which would give Gollum a run for his precious.
Rarity, what in the hay are you gonna do with a fishing rod?
I don't know, but I want it.
Liar Jack references a movie about being trapped in a ravine and having to cut off one of your own limbs.
So there I was, just me and a bucket of honey. Yeah, that's a ticket. But I survived all by myself in this here forest for 127 hours.
Really?
No, not really. The hijinks continue, with confusion and hurt feelings and general ill will on the rise. Why, this is the sort of madness that the unreformed Discord would have delighted in back in the day. And the mostly reformed Discord would still get a chuckle out of, I'm sure. Chrysalis reaches her wits' end with her newest minions, a perilous position for a minion to be in, I am sure.
I'm just trying to do your bidding, Your Majesty.
Grub-sitting you 6 is nothing like controlling my hive. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't just destroy you all and start over.
Because I know where the elements of harmony are. You need me.
Time for this farce to reach its conclusion. Armed with the knowledge gathered by Mean Twilight, Chrysalis and the rest of the Mean Six hasten to the tree, where Twilight the Betrayer seeks to set herself against her creator, and to use the Mean Six warped versions of disharmony to power and attune the elements. Somehow, I don't think the tree is going to have any of that. Are you going to have any of that, O defender and embodiment of the most powerful magic known to ponykind?
Once we get the power of the elements, no creature, not even Her Majesty, can tell us what to do. Just follow my lead. Got it?
Woo! That was mine. Oops. I'd say sorry, but I'm not.
Stop it, fools. We need the elements to take out Chrysalis.
How dare you! I created you!
Imbeciles! You ruined everything!
I didn't think so. As I've long held, there is an intelligence within the force of equestrian harmony, a living spirit to the magic. It is manifested through the tree and the elements. It allows itself to be wielded by bonded champions, but it's not some mindless force that one can simply usurp or trick into obeying your desires. The main six, meanwhile, make up with one another, although they don't realize the nature of the misunderstandings that have plagued this trip into the woods. In some ways, this doesn't speak too highly of their powers of observation and deduction. On the other hand, it does speak very well to the strength of their friendships. The point here being that while none of the individuals in this group of friends actually said or did the horrible things the others remember occurring, even if they were to have such a bad day that they did lash out in those sorts of hurtful and harmful ways, the end result would be contrition and forgiveness. The whole separated in the woods whilst engaged in a rolling series of mistaken identity situations is hardly an intuitive leap. Although, as I realized early on, it is a staple of certain types of comedic storytelling, especially Shakespeare, who uses the mistaken identity trope over and over in his comedies. And coupling that with the wild, weird, unexplainable magical things happening in the woods really does show that the writers of this episode look to the play A Midsummer Night's Dream for their inspiration. Finally, with her plans foiled, have we seen the last of Chrysalis?
Servants always fail you in the end. Oh, just wait, Starlight. I will have my revenge!
I'd say she'll be back. It's nice to see villainous plotting sometimes just falls apart in what is effectively behind-the-scenes manner, so that the heroes never even realized the villain was plotting anything at all. Although I wouldn't chalk this up entirely as a failure on the Changeling Queen's part. She has learned much of the nature of harmony magic. She now knows of the tree and the location of the elements. This could prove troublesome down the line, but for the moment, I suppose that all's well that ends well. And while they didn't end the episode with Puck's parting address, those closing lines seem too perfect to leave out, so... If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend, if you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest Puck, if we have unearned luck, now to scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the Puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends. If you wish to see my full reaction to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 8, Episode 13, titled The Mean Six, the link, as I mentioned earlier, is in the description. Feel free to leave any comments or likes for that reaction here on this Afterthoughts review. And until next time, as always, kindly remember, y'all are awesome. Stay awesome.